Walgreens Boots Alliance, WBA. This has been in the news. Walgreens has been in the news a lot lately for a lot of different things. Pharmacy and retail chain provider, the conglomerate. A lot of things are happening. I'm invested, heavily invested. It's down a bunch, as you can see the chart right here. It's at historic lows, going back, decades, decades low. That's where Walgreens is at. But I'm gonna show you today why this is one of the better buying opportunities, if not the best buying opportunity in Walgreens history. Not financial advice, but I'm gonna give my explanation. As I said before, industry is pharmacy, retail. The sector is healthcare, consumer staple. Headquarters Deerfield, Illinois. The dividend is around 8.8%, 9%, around there. The PE ratio is 3.5x. And recently, the reason why I partly wanted to do a video on this is because a lot of bearish sentiment around the company right now for good reason. The old CEO, wasn't that good. Theft, sales were down a couple years ago. Bad investments. A lot of things was going wrong with Walgreens, but that provided opportunity because in a lot of subsections, the retail business of Walgreens is the most talked about. It's the focal point. It's the face of the company, but it's not even the retail side. It's not even the breadwinner. That's the pharmacy side. That's where a lot of the money comes from, and that's the side that a lot of people don't talk about. But that's, as a shareholders and investors, that's what we really want to make sure we're honed in on, and keeping the main thing the main thing. But for Walgreens, Super Microcomputers is to place Walgreens Nasdaq on the Nasdaq 100. That was July 13th of this month. That already happened. The rebalancing happened. So Walgreens is at a Nasdaq 100 now. They already got kicked out of Dow. So in all intents and purposes, they're out of favor in the American market when it comes to indices, ETFs, and indexes and whatnot. But that's okay because we still have opportunity. And the pivotal point for Walgreens is what's happening with the PBMs in the congressional hearings that are happening with the PBMs. And for a little bit of a breakdown, so Congress and investigators have been having this investigation on the I forget, it's called PBMs. It's like pharmacy cost based providers, right? So they say they help consumers get as cheap as drugs possible. So they're like the middleman from the manufacturers. So they get it from the manufacturers to sell to the consumer at an affordable price, they say. But Congress has been doing an investigation, and they finally took the top three PBMs to court. The drug dealers of the game, of the pharmacy game: Express Scripts, CVS, and I forget the other one. And I was watching it. It's a 4-hour long hearing. The third one, I was watching the third one. And what's interesting is, if you know Tim Wentworth's past, the current Walgreens CEO, Wentworth, prior to Cigna, Wentworth from May 2016 to December 2021 was CEO of Express Scripts, the largest pharmacy benefit manager, the PBM pharmacy benefit manager in the United States. He grew it into a Fortune 22 company with more than $100 billion in revenue and 26,000 employees, also ranking number 66 on Forbes magazine's list of world's most innovative companies. That's the CEO of Walgreens currently right now. I think that's so lucky as a shareholder of Walgreens right now, and that's lucky for him too. But it's lucky all around for us who believe in the vision that the team, the board of directors at Walgreens is trying to get across. Simply put, PBMs The pharmacy benefit managers have been taking advantage of consumers of pharmaceuticals. Some of the drugs that should be cheap are very expensive based on like supply and demand and stuff, and it's coming at a cost of certain people's health. And so that's why the PBMs are now in congressional hearings, um, because people can't get their medicine at an affordable price. They're having to take out loans. They're having to sell things so they don't have so they can take care of the pains and other things that are wrong with them with the drugs. And so that's the thing. It's the morality of the PBMs that's in question now. And I think this is good for Walgreens, because if the PBMs lessen their profit margin, if they become more moral, if Congress says, hey, you got to do a better job, you can't make as much money. You can't make money at the expense of other people's livelihoods. That's going to change the game for Walgreens. They'll be bringing in more profit from the pharmaceutical side, the cash cow. And hopefully, Mr. Wentworth, since he was the CEO of Express Scripts for a long time and he took it to higher heights, he's been in talks with Congress or in talks with the people who are going to be structuring the new business model for PBMs and Walgreens, which is beneficial, because if he's painting the picture for the PBM industry, you know he's going to paint it specifically to benefit Walgreens as best as possible. This is a deep value position. The bet on Walgreens is if you think Tim Wentworth can get it done. If he has the experience, if he has the cachet to get it done. And if you've been watching the conference calls for the earnings reports, you would understand, you can hear it through the phone. Everyone respects that man. Everyone is in line and they know their job. They just have to do it day in and day out, and it's going to be a process. But they understand that, they're focused on that, and they know this is not an overnight fix. Go listen to the last earnings call. Understand how Tim Wentworth carries the room. Everyone that talked on the board of directors or whoever position they had, as soon as Tim gave them the opportunity to talk, they started to talk immediately. It was focused, it was succinct. And then when they were done, Tim passed off the other person. It was a very tight ship, and I like seeing it because they're serious and they want to see this succeed. And I want to see this succeed for my pockets and my community pockets and everybody else's pockets as well. And so that's just kind of the breakdown of what's happening right now. Tim Wentworth will transform WBA 133 reduction. Obviously, you can cast off the one that's 33. WBA is healthcare and consumer staple mix, 137 reduction, the 33rd prime. WBA bottoms once out of NASDAQ, 333 ordinal. Bottoms once out of NASDAQ. And to be honest, to this point, we've been on an incline ever since that happened. Maybe that was the bottom, as the gematria says. So that's very important. And before we get into the next Walgreens slide, more into the numbers, I just want to share my screen on this video real quick, showing the 137 and the story behind this. I think it's powerful and it's comforting. And I think when I saw this, I was like, wow, it's all aligning, especially if you understand the gematria portion. So let me share my screen real quick. Another screen. And so I'm sharing my Discord now, but there's a video I want to share. And it's just a quick one. Again, look, this is the PBM Congress thing. We'll watch. So look, role of PBMs in prescription drug, the role of PBMs in prescription drug markets, part 3, transparency. All right, you see 1 hour, 36 minutes, and 54 seconds. But watch, this was an intermission right now. This was an intermission. Watch, watch. Okay, you see, I have it at uh, I have it at 1:36:59. It's about to be 1 hour 37 minutes on the dot. All right, it's about to be at 1 hour 37 minutes on the dot. 137, the 33rd prime. We talk about this number all the time with our gematria. But watch, you can't make this up. This is a story that's playing out, and we're ahead of it because we understand. Look, watch. They start. They start. Boom. Clockwork. Clockwork. They start. 137, 33rd prime. There's money to be had. I think this is great for Walgreens. This is bad for PBMs. And I was watching the congressional hearing. They don't know what they're talking about. Like Express Scripts president, CVS person. It's insane to me. It's actually wild to me when the people asking them questions, they're like, wait, why, for what reason, tell us for what reason is one drug $30, $35, and another drug is only, $2? What's the mechanism behind why this drug is so expensive and why this drug is so cheap? They didn't have an answer for any of that. None. The three people they brought had no answer. And this was the third congressional hearing. And I would be disappointed if the US government went through all this time and they don't do anything about it. Going through all this, having the investigations, you're having so many of these executives, have their foot in their mouth. They don't even know their business model for their products, and you can't change the rules for PBMs for the better. Come on now. And so I think this is going to be a dub for Walgreens, the consumer, and whatnot. I'm very, very excited. They're not done yet. The congressional hearing's not done yet. But I'm very comfortable adding to my Walgreens position, especially high dividend. They just paid out the dividend, the 25-cent dividend recently. The money's not the issue. So let's get into that next slide because the money's not the issue. Assets, 82.99 billion, so almost $83 billion dollars worth of assets. Liabilities, 67.5 billion. So shareholder equity is at 15.43 billion. You have shares outstanding of 863.28 million. So the book value right now is 1787. Now remember, as closed the July 26th, 1182. All right, and this was up from its lows of low tens, tens not too long ago. But now we have a book value 1787. So you understand that's like a $5-6 discrepancy right there in value. That's deep value right now. That's $6 that's in your pocket already at $11 stock price for WBA. And if it goes past 1787, that's all gravy. That's all that happens, what happens with it in the future. But right now, if Walgreens wanted to sell everything, if Tim Wentworth said, I'm done, I don't want to deal with this anymore, we're going to sell everything, we're going to sell the house, the book value 1787. You buy shares now at 1180 in a buyout or a sellout or anything, you're making $6 per share. The yearly dividend expense is 863.28 million. Obviously, because it's $1 per share per year, 25 cents per quarter, which was reduced last December. But now with that reduced as a dividend, they have no real cash flow issues. They really honed in a lot. You see that the net income was 344 million just in the quarter, the last quarter 3. Cash flows from operations, you see 600 million. So there's a lot of great things happening, like cash flow up, net income up, Cash from financing up. Net changing cash up. Free cash flow up. Revenue up. Operating expense, we're still focusing on that. We're still working on that. Operating expenses, the lawsuits, the Village MD situation, loan leverage situation. That's just cost of business. But overall, everything has been going up for Walgreens the last couple quarters. All right, you have to see it. Yes, it was bad before, but now it's getting better. WBA become more profitable after PBM case. 333 English ordinal, 153 reduction. Like, that's powerful, guys. If you follow anything I do stock wise with gematria, anything, 333 and 153 together with the ordinal and reduction, some of the most powerful connection you can get in this world in my eyes. I'm passionate about this because I think this is the one. WBA become more profitable after PBM case. 333 English ordinal, 153 reduction. WBA profits after FTC PBM fight. 330 English ordinal, 33 just cast off the zero value placeholder. And just for more information on that PBM case, Walgreens and other pharmacies often lose money selling brand name drugs due to agreements with pharmacy benefit managers, PBMs. These groups, who serve as middlemen between health plans and drug manufacturers, negotiate prices with drug companies and set reimbursement rates with pharmacies. So if we get this under control, Walgreens, with their raising metrics, the retail stores are finally seeing better sales now after the COVID crash. They're closing down all unprofitable stores. They just got scripts from I believe, was it CVS or Rite Aid in Ohio. So they're doing a lot of great things, and how the world is being set up. What makes Walgreens so special and important to America, and Tim brought this up, there's a lot of pharmacy medical desert areas in America where, even when you talk about food deserts, where somebody can't get to a grocery store, and so they usually have to go to a Dollar General or something like that to get unhealthier options. That's the same thing with pharmacies and getting your pills and your medication and stuff. And so for a lot of areas where there's not a lot of medical assistance, a Walgreens in the middle, being the middleman between that, is very important. All right. And I think they're going to strategically get their profitable stores where they need to be, and it'll be working out. So they're going to be the stopgap. They're going to be the glue for those pharmaceutical dry areas. And for the record, I'm not big on pills. I don't really take any. I don't even take allergy medicine. But it's not really. I'm not taking a moral stance, even though how I feel about pharmaceuticals and stuff like that. Even though it's not necessarily for me. I understand it's a part of the American life, a part of the American matrix. I'm not going to be able to change the mindset of everybody. People like quick fixes to things, and that's why they use pills and stuff. But you got, sometimes whatever you feel, when you see an opportunity, you have to take it. And I think Walgreens is in a great scenario. They have the CEO. A lot of things are aligning. So regardless if I take pills or not, I know a lot of people do. It's one of the largest industries sectors in the world. United Health Insurance, ungodly. We just went over Express Scripts, $100 billion of revenue. Are you kidding me? All three of the PBMs, the top three PBMs that control 80% of the market, they're all top 40 companies in America. Hundreds of $1 billion. So there's money there, and I want to be a part of it. So that's why I'm in Walgreens, and that's why I keep adding. Federal Trade Commission to sue three largest PBMs. Wall Street Journal. Antitrust regulators are poised to file a suit against CVS Caremark, Express Scripts, and Optum RX over how they negotiate discounts for drugs, including insulin. So that's what I have for Walgreens, and I'm excited. Overall, it's going to take some time. It's going to take some time for things to play out. This is a turnaround. This is what Tim says all the time. It's a turnaround. This is not an overnight fix, but they're focused. They know their vision. They have their vision, and I believe they're going to get it done.